The Democrats face reality and realize unsecured borders is something really bad for our nation. So what is Joe Biden doing to curb it? He is now building a wall. Yes, after years of backlash Donald Trump received by the Democrats for trying to build a wall, Joe Biden is doing the exact same thing. Then the Los Angeles School District is celebrating Coming Out Day, but instead of it just being the day, they're going to be doing an entire week of lessons about LGBTQ+. Then lastly, a leftist activist was stabbed in New York City at 4 a.m., and his friends are now justifying that his murderer had the right to do so because he was just a victim of the system. I'm Solo, and this is the Solo Show. Now, if you have a short memory, when Donald Trump was running for president, one of the main things he ran on was border security. And what happened? Everyone on the left instantly called it pointless, a waste of money, and Donald Trump was just racist. In 2019, while Joe Biden was campaigning, he said that he would end wasteful efforts to build a wall. In 2020, he said there would not be another foot of the wall constructed under my administration. Fast forward to this week, we have an average of 200,000 migrants being apprehended by law enforcement each month. Compare that to 2018. During the Trump administration, they encountered 396,000 migrants at the border in a year. This is a massive difference from today, what we're seeing, where we see 1.2 million migrants encounters in 2022, and that's not going to slow down in 2023. Well, now Joe Biden and the rest of the Democrats are feeling the effect of their own policies. Joe Biden is using his executive power to waive 26 federal environmental laws to build 20 miles more of the wall in Texas. He's doing this in an effort to curb the amount of illegal immigrants crossing that part of the border. And of course, this is something the Democrats said that would work and what we've been trying to do for the longest amount of time. So when Joe Biden opened up the border when he took office, and governors like Greg Abbott and Ron DeSantis sent migrants to democratically ran states and cities, they felt the effects of their own policies. But will they learn from this? Most likely not. And then next up, we have the Los Angeles School District celebrating Coming Out Day, but instead of it being a day, they're doing an entire week of lessons. According to Fox News, Los Angeles elementary schools with students as young as 5 will participate in a week-long celebration of National Coming Out Day. Starting Monday, the Week of Action Toolkit Elementary sent the Los Angeles Unified School District's Board of Education outlined suggested lesson plans for elementary students around LGBTQ+ topics. The document, which a teacher shared with a city journal, noted teachers can adopt lesson plans to better suit the needs of their students. The toolkit includes an identity map activity for students to complete and start at the start of the week, preparing students to critically think about identity and intersectionality. Teachers are encouraged to have students to create an image representing their identity and includes features like their race, ethnicity, gender, identity, religion, sexual, and mental health. The toolkit suggests students engage in a gallery walk of everyone's identity map and respond to writing prompts like, who am I? What did I learn about my identity? What were some of the things of your identity that were same or different than your classmates? Teachers are also told to share images of students' maps with the district. The document also includes an allyship pledge for students to sign. It states that students will use kind language when talking about all teachers, staff, classmates, and their families, even if they are different from themselves. Be an upstander by sticking up for others if safe to do so. Otherwise, they will ask a grown-up for help and encourage and teach others to be allies. And when we wonder why kids are failing in public school, this is exactly why. This is nothing but confusion, smoke in the air that are completely confusing these kids. You usually send your kids to, learn math, science, English, and instead they are being taught this nonsense. And this is how progressive liberalism is going to end our society. And let me just give you another scenario. You have a bunch of kids and you're telling them to explore their identity, and then they see these identities, they're like, oh yeah, that looks cool. I mean, I'm sure you guys have younger siblings or even have kids of your own, and you see how easily kids are persuaded. Kids want to be Batman, kids want to be superheroes, and they don't have an actual grasp of what life is. And this is just going to further confuse them And we need, as a community, we need to step up and tell these public schools, hey, you need to be teaching these kids. In LA alone, or California alone, 30% of 8th graders are proficient in English. The other 90%, no, that math doesn't make sense, 70% are failing and they're not proficient. And this is what happens when we let crazy leftist radicals control our kids and teach them. They don't learn at all. And then we have some absolutely crazy news out of New York. Ryan Carson, a leftist activist who wanted to defund the police and was a self-proclaimed Antifa member, was stabbed and killed early Monday morning while waiting on a bus stop by an 18-year-old black man, and I'll say why that's important in a second. Well, it turns out being soft on crime, like many democratic cities and states have been doing, you get problems like this. The worst part is neither his girlfriend, who was there at the time of this incident, and his friends are going to learn from this tragic event. His girlfriend refused to work with the police to give a description of the suspect at the time and has been seen on social media with a cap shirt and a Karl Marx license plate. Then his friend set a GoFundMe up, which was originally, most times when you set up a GoFundMe account, it's to support the burden of the actual, the funeral costs. But no, it is their own benefit, and they're actually gaining and profiting off of their friend's death. With a direct quote from their GoFundMe page, immediate needs are to offset the cost of the working class people taking off time to properly mourn. So his friends are just profiting from his death. They are saying that the guy that murdered their friend is just a victim of the broken system. I know he would have wanted people to use his death as a means to talk about structural wrongs in the city. I'm absolutely positive that he would immediately see that this was a person who was suffering from a lack of resources in our community, who probably needs better mental health support, probably housing, probably drug support, drug treatment. And when they say this person, it is a black man. They're saying that he lacks institutional support, and this is the reason why he killed his friend. And this is absolutely insane. We need individual responsibility that say this is wrong, this is something that should not happen. And Republicans are the ones that have been saying this for the longest. You have the choices to make in life, whether you want to be successful or not successful. You can't blame an institution on why you make bad choices. And his friends are justifying it, and it's absolutely crazy. But will they learn? Will they stop being activists and fighting a broken system to help victims of people who are committing murders and crimes in our cities? No, it is absolute nonsense. That's all I have for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.